Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm very excited to be here. This is my first workshop with Girls Night and Online, so I'm very excited. My name is Arlene from ACraftyLatina. I've been crafting for probably 20 plus years as a single mom. It was something great for me to do and pass the time, do something with the kids. I've been event planning for 20 plus years as well. So it's my passion, and it's sort of expanded, and now I focus a lot on doing crafts with paper and vinyl, and specifically with Cricut. What we're going to learn today is something that you can do with or without your Cricut. I thought the flexibility and being able to do that, whether you had a machine or not, was really important for me. So what we're going to do today is a poinsettia for the holidays, and it's really easy and simple. I know we provided the list of the supplies ahead of time, so we're just going to go through that really quickly. You should have had the template to download. If you haven't, I believe they'll put it on in the chat so that you can download and have for future. So you'll have a couple of petals, and then you'll have a hexagon. So the first thing you'll see is the largest one is the green one. Those are the leaves that we're going to use. That's the one that's on the back of this. And then you'll see the same petal, and these are all the same shapes. We just use them in different format, and that's the beauty of cardstock and crafting. It's, you know, you have that flexibility of being creative. So this will be the leaf, and then these three are the same shape but different sizes that will sort of add volume and layers to your petals. So the way that you would use this, if you don't have a Cricut machine, you would print this out, you would cut this out, and I would suggest you print it like in a little thicker cardstock than this. Then you would cut out each shape individually, and just on the color cardstock or the color paper that you want to use for your poinsettia, that's what you would trace it on and then cut that out. The measurements for each of the individual petals is at the bottom, so it'll tell you how many you need of each. If you went ahead and uploaded this and what it would look like if you did it on your Cricut machine, you would put it on your Cricut, and when it came in, it would come in a little smaller than this. So what you would do is just tap on it, ungroup it, and then resize every petal to the measurements that are at the bottom as well, and then print as many copies as it shows on there. So it's really simple. You can upload it. It's already in an SVG format. All you have to do is upload it directly into your Cricut and just size it. So let's get started. I'm really excited to share this with you. This is so great for the holidays. So I'm just going to show you how many. So I cut my hexagon. The hexagon is 4.5 inches. And this is perfect because we work in groups of 6. So every petal that you see that you're going to cut out, there's 6 of each and there's 12 of one. But we're grouping, we do layers of 6. So the hexagon lends itself so easy for you to know exactly where your petals go. That's why I love this shape. So it's not a lot of thinking, and you don't have to sort of guess where to place the petal. You just follow the images that are there. So you'll have 6 of the large green ones, which are the leaves. And then you'll have 2 sets of the largest red. This is the first and second layer of the petals. And then you have 6 of the medium, and then you'll have 6 of the tiniest ones. So let's begin. So the leaves you can use as they are. So when you cut them, they come out in a shape like this, and you can use them exactly like this if you want. I'm going to show you a way that you can add a little, I guess, depth and a little interest to your leaves, so that if you want to do it in a different way, you can. So all of my petals and all of my leaves, I sort of, I fold them in half lengthwise. I fold them this way, just because that, again, gives it a little lift to your leaf and gives it a little interest. The other thing that I do is, just for the leaves, I take a ruler or anything that has like a straight edge and just push it up against. So if you see it here, I just put the tip at an angle and just push it forward, and then move my ruler down a little bit more. And again, just push it forward and just create a crease. That's all I'm doing. It's very simple. And you just keep doing that and work your way all the way down to the bottom of the leaf. So when you open that, what you're going to see is that it gives it sort of looks like those veins on the leaf that you see outside. And it just gives it a little more interest to your flower. So I'm just going to do one more with you. So again, you fold it in half lengthwise, and all of the petals will be folded in half as well. But the leaves are the only ones that I do this process with. Again, just place a ruler or anything that's like a hard angle and just start folding it over. I start at the top and just go down maybe half an inch, if not even. Just slide the ruler down. It's up to you. There's no rhyme or reason. Every flower is unique. Every craft project is unique. It's whatever, however you want to do it. And that's that. And then we'll open it again. And there you see all of the little lines. So I've done all of that with my leaves. So now let's start assembling it. Like I mentioned, we're going to go one on each side. And what I like to do is come in at about an inch down. So you'll see the little rectangle that's at the bottom of the pattern. I just come down a little further from that and I hot glue it right there at the center of the edge of each side and just hot glue it down. So let's do that. And I'll show you after I do one. So that's the placement. It's just a little bit down. And if you have a ruler, you can measure from like the edge down if you want to do that. I just eyeball it because, you know, it's easier sometimes and faster. So it's literally just 1 inch down, and that's what the back is going to look like. So let's go ahead and do all 6 of those. Again, you're going to place it, just flip your little hexagon around to the next edge and just bring it 1 inch down. So you're just going to follow, flip the hexagon again to the next one. Just do that. And if you don't want to measure 1 inch down, once you do the first one, you can just sort of guide yourself by the bottom of the edge and just line that up with the following one. So once you measure the first one, you don't even have to measure the rest, just follow the guide. And that's 3. Let's do the final 3. Just keep turning your hexagon around and around until you finish all your petals. And just be careful with your hot glue gun. That is no joke. I always say I can go into the witness protection program because I don't know if I have any fingertips, like any fingerprints left. So at the end, this is what it looks like. It's so easy because of the shape, and you can see the little movement to the leaves with the little curves that we gave it. And that's what the back looks like. So now we're going to move to our first set of petals. Again, they all get folded in half. And this is where the ones that you printed or you will cut 12 of, separate that into 2 sets of 6 each. So we're going to work in layers. So this is petals C in the template. We're working with the first set of C. You'll fold it in half, and where you're going to place it is in between the greens. What we're going to do is fill that gap. And what you're going to do is put it right at the same, where the 2 greens meet, you're going to put it right on top. And what you want to do is just fill in this gap here with this first set of layers. Let me do the first 2 so that I can show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so see, it goes right in between. So what you want is green, red, and then the back will look just like this. It's going to be green, red. So we're just going to follow around and do the same thing. Just fill in between each one of the greens. You put one of these reds. And I know I'm probably moving a little fast just because interest of time, but there's a replay of this that'll be placed after. And you can go ahead and take your time and do it. So, and I love these for the holidays, and I don't limit myself into like the red and green. I'm doing red and green just, you know, here, but I've done them all green. I've made them white. You can use color, different cardstock, like printed cardstock, anything that has some sort of a pattern, and alternate that with your layers and it'll look beautiful. So this is what we're at right now. So it's each one. There's a red and a green, red and a green, and this is what the back will look like. So you're alternating. Now we're taking the second layer of that same template C, the second set of 6. And what we're going to do with that one is that one we're going to put in between again, but we're going to bring it down 1/2 inch. So instead of it finishing right where these are, I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. So it's going to be filling in the gaps in between, but it's going to be a little lower than the other one. So I would say bring it, that little flap that's here at the bottom, just bring it down that much and a little more. Use that as your measurement. So let's do that. I'll do the first 2 and I'll show you exactly where I place them. And again, you can style these differently if you want. You can use them exactly as they are. Definitely fold them in half. It gives it a little more dimension to it. But what I also do sometimes is it has like this little curve at the top. You can just like flip that over and give it like a little wave look and just like flip that over with your fingernail or something. And it just gives it a little movement. So this is where we are. See, I put it in between, but as you can tell, it's further, it's lower. I brought it down. I didn't do it specifically. So now it looks like this is the tallest petals, and that we're just gradiating down in height for each layer. So let's continue doing that. So fill in between the red layers, but bring it down a little bit. And once you do the first 1 or 2, use that as your measurement and continue that same length down. So the paper that I use, I just want to talk about some of the supplies. The paper that I use is 65-pound cardstock that I get at Michael's. It's this pack. It's the Recollections pack from Michael's. This is just standard, regular cardstock paper. There's nothing fancy. You can get it at any craft store. If you have a Hobby Lobby, a Michael's, you can get it on Amazon. So it's there's varieties of colors, but it is the 65-pound that I use. I feel like that's the one that's sturdy enough to create these flowers, but also soft enough that lets me style them in different ways that I want. They're not stiff. It's not, it's not too thick. All right, so here we are. So that's the second layer. Now you can see a poinsettia. We are getting there. So the back looks like this. You have your hexagon and you see your layer. And then the front looks like this. Now, how fast did we do this? This is something that you can do. You can do several of these really quickly once you cut out all your templates. And if you have a little mess of glue in the middle and it's pouring out, don't worry. Each layer covers the layer before that, and it hides all of the glue. I constantly have a lot of mess. So now we're working with the second, the medium size petals, the next to last grouping. So this one, we're not going to move it down. This one is actually going to be right in the middle. It's going to close the gap between the ones that we just did. It's going to be at the same height as the other ones. We're going to go down just the same. We're not going to go further down. It's going to end right where the other ones are ending. And again, we're putting them in between each of these petals so that it fills the gap that we just created. I'll do 2 and I'll show you. It'll be probably a little more difficult to see because this is red on red now, but you'll see by the length of the petals. And they will overlap. Now that we're getting closer to the middle of the poinsettia, these petals will overlap over each other, and that's perfectly fine. They should. So here, let me see, where are they? Here, these are the 2 that I just did. See, they're at the same length, but look how they're shorter than this one. So these are the 2, and they overlap. Hope you can see that right here. This one, at the same length, but they overlap. So let's continue doing the rest of those. And if you don't have a hot glue gun, this is the Archon, the AdTech hot glue gun. And I like it because it's a dripless hot glue gun. You know, sometimes you have a hot glue gun and you have all that like kind of like spider web type stuff, and I can't stand that. So this one actually does not do that. And it makes it so much easier because A, you don't lose product. It doesn't start rolling off of your hot glue gun, and you don't create a mess. Okay, so there, all of those are on. Let me just, of course I got glue on my finger. So this is where we are. So now we've done green layer, the first layer of the C template, the second layer of C template, and then we've done the B template. Now we're gonna go with the final template, which is A. So that one, when you do it, that one you are gonna move in 1/2 inch. So the goal is to close up this circle a little bit. So you're gonna go in between the petals that you just did, but you're gonna bring it down at least 1/2 inch. So again, use this little rectangle as a marker to bring it in. The other thing that we're gonna do with these petals is this little bottom piece, the little rectangle, I like to just fold that forward. Just fold it forward. And what that's gonna do is give some height to your petals as you do it. So I'm folding them all at the same time. I'm folding them all up at the same time. You can do that because it's easy. So that's it. You see the little rectangle piece, I fold that forward. So when you put it on, you're gonna bring it down about 1/2 inch. Just put glue on the back of that little rectangle piece and just lay that right on there. So in between, glue on the little rectangle and place it on there. Okay. I'll do 2 and show you. Again, you're gonna go in between the sets that we just did and move down about 1/2 inch. I'm gonna say 1/2 inch is probably the length of that little rectangle that we have at the bottom. If you just take that as a measurement and bring it down that far, I think you'll be good. Okay, so let me I just did these 2. Now I'm just gonna do the side view so you can see. See how these 2 are standing up? Just bending that little piece gives it such volume to the middle of your poinsettia. Is that last bit of interest that's gonna come to give your poinsettia a little more life. And you can flatten it down if you want so that it could just have a little lift. It doesn't have to be standing straight up. I don't like them standing all the way up. Just gonna finish these last couple. I want to make sure I leave time if there's any questions. Okay, the last 2. How quickly did we put this together? I mean, this is something that gives high impact to your decor. You can make them different sizes and put them on your tree. You can make a wreath with them. You can attach them to a garland. And they're so simple and quick to make. So, okay. So here's our finished poinsettia. Well, finished in the sense of the petals. We're gonna put something in the center to completely finish it off and give it a little glamour. But I love it. You can see each of the layers, how is just a gradient flow of layers. The back is so simple. It's just the hexagon and the leaves that are in the back. And it just makes a great holiday decor. The one thing that I like is you can use this on your tree and then you can just place it. But if you put a little Velcro, you can attach it to anything you want. You can attach it to a wall. You can put some hot glue gun. You can attach it to a wreath. You can put a ribbon and you can hang them up somewhere. So there's so many options for you to do. Now for the center, I cut this out on my Cricut. So for those of you that have a Cricut, you can do that. This is called dandelion. So if you search dandelion in the images and Cricut design space, you will see this. And I just cut this out of glitter paper. So this is what I'm going to use to finish this off. And look how amazing that's going to look. So let's just add a little hot glue to this and put that there. And there's your poinsettia. So simple, but really high impact look for your holiday decor. I love it. Let me show you a couple of others that I've done. in a different color. So I made this one in white, and I used the 65-pound, again, white shimmer paper from Michaels, and I used that one for this one, and then I just did the back regular green, and I did the insert in red instead, and I love that. And then I did this one in all green, and what I did was all of the petals, I did that treatment that I did for the leaves, which folding it with the ruler, I did it to all of the petals. And if you don't have a Cricut, you can just add some berries or just get some small holiday ornaments that they sell and just hot glue them into the middle, and you'll create beautiful poinsettia. So you have so many different options. There's such varieties that you can do with this one simple template. Really, there's no limit to the things that you can do. You can add them to a wreath or to a garland. I hope everyone found this helpful, and this is something that you want to do with your family, kids, or just for yourself for the holidays. Thank you so much. I'm excited to share this with you. Thank you.